we have a representative from the fire department. And let me say that it's Jamaica Fire Brigade Service. I said, I can't say that. I can't say that. Yeah, Jamaica Fire Brigade, right. Jamaica Fire Brigade. And let me tell you that, they stretch right across the whole entire island. And when you talk about the fire service, we have firefighters right here in Portland. Some people are even vouching, say, boy, say, me need a next, I need a fire station out by East. But, sometimes, them say, boy, them have to put it at the proper place. But I know a lot of people crying, but firefighters, they do have their cry because resources is a problem because it's not easy. One truck for service, the whole entire Portland, or one truck for service, St. Mary. You don't know, I might just hear something new. But let me say good morning, and we have Sir Patterson here this morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
All right. Tell us what's happening in regards to Fire Safety Week.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, listeners. The Jamaica Fire Brigade commemorates its Fire Safety Awareness Week from Sunday, October the 26th to November 1, 2014. This annual event is being observed this year under the theme Communities in Action Supporting Fire Prevention. The main focus will be at communities and getting them involved in fire prevention activities. Among our objectives are to develop a sustained public educational program, to get communities actively involved in fire protection efforts and care for fire hydrants, to reduce the instances of death and injuries caused by fire, to reduce the incidences of fire in our protective wildlands and wetland areas, and also to increase the number of smoke detectors installed in households across the parish. This effort is done right across the island. At this time, all the fire prevention team are active, busy, educating the public on fire safety measures and ways in which they can help themselves to protect themselves from fires. Now, as it relates to community, we have been doing a lot of work in the community because going in communities and getting them involved is one of the main way of ensuring that persons adhere to certain practices. Now, what we do is that we go and we train these persons to become fire safety wardens so that they can identify hazards and make some rectify the situation to render it safe. Now we have done training in communities such as Ginger House, Swift River, Fellowship, Manchineal, Breastworks, Claverty Cottage, Skibo and Brybrook. And most recently we have done some training in the Chepstow area. And in Windsor Castle, all age, we have trained all the teachers at Windsor Castle all age. We have trained persons at the Port Antonio Hospital. And we have trained persons in private enterprise, such as the hotels and so on. It's an ongoing effort. And in this week, we have a number of activities. Starting yesterday, we went to the parish library with our opening ceremony. But, first and foremost, listeners, we always have to invoke the presence of the Lord in all what we do. And on Sunday, we were in Spicy Hill in Trelawney with our church service. So, for Portland, we will be having, we started yesterday, as I mentioned, at the library with our opening ceremony. And we had a little model house where we demonstrate how the smoke detector works. So we actually put a smoke detector in a little house and put some smoke in there and show quickly the smoke really, when the smoke is a minimum amount of smoke inside there, how quickly the smoke detector will go off and give an alarm. And then we take that smoke detector out and show you how much the house fill up with smoke. And there is nothing to alarm persons. So we have recognized, and most often we see on the television where children and older persons have lost their lives in the fire. And we know that having a smoke detector will reduce the risk of that happening, injuries or loss to life.
All right, let us look at the whole awareness that you people go around and you deal with to let people know what's going on. What type of feedback you're getting from the school? Are they grabbing to it, say yes, it is important, and are you getting the feedback that they would want to pass this on to people in their community?
Yes, we got that feedback that they are welcoming the fire prevention practices, education. It's a ongoing thing. We normally go into schools and we educate them on fire prevention practices because more often we know that it's surprising at times too, when you ask the children, like the grade ones, uh, who cook? And you see a lot of them put up their hands and say they cook. And we're
Okay.
wondering if they do it by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we're imploring parents, ensure that we know that children have to learn, but make sure that they do not go into the kitchen unsupervised. Ensure that you are there to supervise them. All right?
All right. Another thing is that we notice that some people might just want to be that hero type of person. A fire takes place and they would want to go in and rescue. What are the do's and what are the do's and the don'ts about this situation?
Okay. We will not recommend for persons to go inside and take out somebody. That's a firefighter's job. However, I would cautiously say if it is safe for them to do so. But that is why we ensure that persons have a plan and have a plan as it relates to an emergency plan at home. So once there is a fire, or having a smoke detector or an alarm system that will detect that there is a fire. Once there is an alarm that goes off, persons need to follow that plan. The next thing they need to do is to evacuate. Once they evacuate, they need to call the fire department. And you need to know the number to your nearest fire station. All right? For persons living in Port Antonio area, it's 993-2525. And for persons in Buff Bay, it's 996-1501. So we are imploring that you have a plan and you practice that plan. Have a fire drill at home, right? So that, and what we want you to do is to make sure that you have at least 2 escape routes from each room in your house. So a lot of times persons grill their home and they grill the windows. Your windows can also be an exit route for you. So you can grill the window in such a way, just like how you grill the door, so that it can either slide open or it can hinge open.
So basically, you're saying you can grill the window, but at the same time, there should just be a chance where you can also open.
Exactly.
All right. What about the workplaces? Because we have some people that you ask them, you go to work. Did you people ever do a fire drill? No. Did you people you ever see a boss like they have a fire extinguisher? And no matter it's the smallest of a business, no matter how small you are, I think you should do a fire drill.
Yes. It doesn't matter how small the business is, you must do a fire drill, right? To ensure that what you're doing, you're safeguarding your workers and you're safeguarding your property. Having a fire extinguisher or fire detection or suppression system within your business will help to protect your investment. Oftentimes, we realize that persons do not want to, they'll spend a lot of money on security. And you have spent millions of dollars to prepare your business, but you will not spend a few $1,000s to get some fire safety equipments within your premises to protect your investment. Fire drill is necessary. It helps you to behave rational when the real emergency occurs.
All right, let's look at the public passenger vehicles. What is it that they should have? Because some people we look at the fire extinguisher and say, all right, all public passenger vehicles should have it. But is it for the private vehicles as well?
Again, I'll say it in just a small way. Protect your investment. It is mandatory for a public passenger vehicle to have a fire extinguisher in it. However, for your small, your car, a person's car, 1 million, 1 million, 3 million, $5 million, and you say, oh, it's insured. So, but your battery, something electrical can go wrong. Anything can go wrong. So it is important for you to protect your investment, and having a small fire extinguisher within your vehicle can save. It can even save it. You might meet in an accident, right? And you get trapped, and then fire begins to occur. So your extinguisher that you have could put that fire out, or you could put the fire out if it's someone else meeting an accident. So it is important for you to have a fire extinguisher in your vehicle.
All right. Anything that you wanna add that we left out? Anything you wanna add?
Yes, just to you mentioned earlier that we had one fire unit in the parish. We actually have two. There is another unit in Buff Bay. So we have two in the parish to serve. As it relates to our Fire Safety Awareness Week, just to inform the public that we are going in, we have identified the community of Chepso. And as our theme suggests, community in action supporting fire prevention. I'm imploring persons to have a smoke detector, because having a smoke detector in your house can really, especially for persons with children and older, with elderlies and also disabled persons. Because if the smoke alarm go off quick enough, the neighbor can go in and rescue that person who is not able to walk, that grandma, or that little baby that inside can be, you can be alert in a more quicker time, so you can actually rescue the person before the situation get worse. um we're going into Chepso district now. As I leave here, we're going to walk the community, and we're going to um inspect homes and tell them if there's any safety hazards or anything that they need to rectify. And we're going into the Long Road community on Thursday, and we'll be training some members of that community in light search and rescue, and to become fire wardens. So it will make the community safer. It will also make the community more sustainable. Just in case there's a natural disaster or anything, then these persons can be more self-sufficient in taking care of themselves. And on Friday, we will be going to Titchfield High School, and we'll do a demonstration there. So, and we'll culminate our Fire Safety Awareness Week with a firefighters ball at the Royalton, formerly Starfish or Breezes Trelawney.
All right, let me ask you though, before we go, because people out there listening, and this is a question I should ask you from earlier on. What are some of the simple things that can burn a house down, or some of the ways people can burn down a house so simple and they don't even know it?
All right. In a home, typically there are two main hazards as it relates to fire. One, electrical. Two, the stove. All right. So what happens is that persons might leave their electrical appliances on plugged in. All right, and if there are faulty electrical wiring, that's why it is important for persons to ensure that a certified electrician wire their home. Right, sharing light, stealing electricity, that is cause for concern in terms of it can burn their home down. So plug in, leaving your equipments plugged in, especially those that like for instance you leave your iron plugged in. Persons use extension cord with the iron. That is not permitted. So these are some things that you are not to do, and you must, any equipment that has heat, meaning that they produce heat, they have vent, like your cable box or so. you need to give them breathing space.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have at least 3 inches from the wall where you have your refrigerator, and you must ensure that your equipment, you have enough power to supply the equipment that you use. Do not overload your circuitry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because a lot of time persons plug extension cord and they plug in multiple things in there, and then because they need more, they plug another extension cord in there, and they plug
So you
some other equipment.
overload,
So
you
you're overloading
overload,
one
yeah.
circuit. So that is some of
And
the
and
things.
and I know that the destroyer and the candle.
Right. Persons hardly use destroyers anymore, but they still do, and candles also. But we recommend that you put these things in a candle holder, and don't put it close to the window where the curtains might blow and catch.
But you know, we based upon the old levels of the chicken the chicken the chick V, we realize that okay, yeah, destroyer is on a high. It's selling like bread. So we know that somebody might just light it and all right, push it there, put it there, or they put it in a plastic thing and
Right.
I tell you.
And it's important for you to put in a non combustible container, like for instance a saucer. And do not put it under the bed. If you're lighting a destroyer, don't put it under the bed. Don't put it anywhere where it can catch something. All right. Also, one very important thing: persons coming home tired and they cook. When you come home and you're tired and you go and cook something and you leave the pot on the fire and you fall asleep, that is a danger.
That spells disaster.
That spells disaster.
All right, thanks a lot for coming through, and I hope that a lot of information passed on to the listeners, and we just want to say special thanks, and you know, we just want to tell the people, please don't give them any prank call, no prank call, because you can't just make a prank call when there's a real fire.
Yes, and just to close with that, Mr. Baker, we're asking persons, they don't see the danger in all of this with false alarm. Because we have just gotten one recent, just this morning. And we're saying, when you give us a false call with the limited resources that we have, and the unit leaves from the station and go miles out of the parish, and there is a miles up the east, and there is a fire within the town, a fire, it could be your home on fire. And then we'll take a considerable amount of time to get back to go to your home. So we're asking you, please, do not make any false call. All right? Thank you very much for having me.
Cool. Let me take a break and get back. Take a break and get back. And then we have some fun in the building. Yeah, cool.
Planning a party, club night out, stage show,